The Chicago defense on the line with Armstrong, McMichael, and Perry and Dent. Two linebackers starting, Singletary and Morrissey. And the much maligned secondary that's somewhat insecure. Look at this, they bring Randall McDaniel into the backfield to block for Roger Craig, and they stop him. Roger Craig for no gain.
Great job of penetration by Richard Dent. Richard Dent comes right underneath. Watch Dent, left of your screen. Right underneath Zimmerman. Gets into McDaniel's face. Dent stripped the blocking. That's what made that play. Enabled Dante Jones and the rest of the defense to make that stick.
Anderson right up the middle for about 4. Let's set that Chicago offense. The offensive line with Auzeem, the rookie that Randy emphasized in a key matchup today. Wojciechowski, Fontenot, Thayer, Van Horn, and Jennings. Anderson and Muster, the starting backs. The Bears rushed for over 200 yards last week, thanks to those two. Davis and Waddle, the receivers. 1st and 10, Chicago. Play action. Harbaugh gets out of the pocket and into Minnesota territory. 1st down, Chicago at the 40. Ran away from Carlos Jenkins, who then tripped him at the 40.
Well, you saw Terry Bradshaw on the NFL Today talk about Steve Young and Randall Cunningham running, because when they get man, it opens up all sorts of territory. Harbaugh got man, opened up the whole right side of the defense right there for him. A great job of reading that coverage. And here's the rookie. See how he's doing. One-on-one. Round 1 to the young fella.
A long-range field goal for Kevin Butler, trying to become the Bears' all-time scorer. He's tied right now with Walter Payton with 750 points.
Indoors, this is well within Butler's range. 51 yards.
And Butler has the all-time scoring mark at Chicago. Whitaker has joined Jordan. They run it. Allen easily gets the first. Allen inside Chicago territory and out of bounds at the 34. Gannon picked off at the goal line by Wolford. Oh, and if there's ever a player who needed one at this time, it's this man.
But it's not a bad job of suckering Gannon in by Wolford. Playing the nickel position, sort of the, well, ignore me, I'm not really here. He tries to throw it over him. Watch the foul. Richard Dent coming in right there. Right into the back of Roger Craig.
1st and 10 from their own 8. Neil Anderson trying to get outside and diving out of bounds near the 13-yard line. Wendell Davis threw a block on that side. 2nd down and 5. Kelly Blackwell in now at tight end. Good pass. Out to the 25-yard line. Wendell Davis. Underneath the coverage and short of the 1st down. That was Dennis Gentry with the catch. Mike Merriweather on the hit.
Well, for a guy that cuts and twists and turns, there you see McMichael caused the fumble. There's William Perry. That is Chicago ball all the way.
Anderson now splits out as a receiver to the top of your screen on 2nd and 9. Waddle spins away, cuts to the middle. 1st down, Chicago. Broke away from Carl Lee, faked him out. Then Vincey Glenn made the hit at the 36.
You've heard of running backs and receivers kind of giving the limp leg sometimes when a defender goes to grab them. What we're going to see here, Waddle kind of gives everybody the limp body. His whole body just seems to sort of relax after he catches this ball. Watch, he gets the ball. Lee wants to tackle him. He kind of relaxes, then goes. Maybe we want to ease and slide into one spot. Let's go to where they're not. Ease and slide. Okay, time to go down.
And all of that maneuvering picked up the first down for the Bears. Anderson, open hole, and a stick put on him by Ray Berry at the 32. That's the Harbaugh to Waddle routine that has paid off more than once. And here they run it. Anderson has the first for the 24. Wojciechowski helped free him. Nice block.
And the Bears showing a little of the old split them and hit them. Got that line lined up. Got 4 wide receivers out wide. Taking a page out of the Barry Sanders Detroit book. Get that defense spread out and then just run something nice and quick. That was what you might call a sprint draw, because it was a draw, but Anderson was going from the second that ball was snapped.
Randall really has been applying pressure. Anderson knocked silly at the 20 by Merriweather. Short at the first. 37 yards now. Butler. 2 for 2. Kevin Butler from 50 and from 37 yards.
Well, they have been in the past. I think they've been working on some trick stuff, a little reverses, things like that, and we'll see it out there.
2nd and 5, another screen. McDaniel throws a big block for Allen, who cuts to the middle and down at the 39 of Chicago. But a fumble on the back end of it.
Lemuel Stinson told us we're going to get 5 turnovers from these guys. Well, he's 3 of the way there. Look at McDaniel, puts Cox down. When does the ball come out? It came out before he hit the ground.
Anderson right at midfield. Three turnovers by Minnesota and a touchdown called back by a holding call. 3rd and 9. The Vikings called that last time out. And there's a first down catch for Chicago. Back into the Minnesota end of the field with Wendell Davis. Hurried. Harbaugh gets rid of it to Anderson. Nifty moves to pick up the first near the 30.
I'd like to see where all these people in the preseason that said this guy couldn't run anymore, where are they now?
3rd and we'll call it 7. Going for the touchdown. Touchdown! What a catch by Waddle!
Waddle working on Carl Lee.
Waddle said the greatest thrill in his career was catching a 37-yard touchdown last year against the Vikings, even more so than his heroic catches for touchdowns on the game's last plays, because it meant he could play in this league. Look at this one.
Watch that. Never took his eyes off the ball. Carl Lee looked back at the last minute, but the last 20 yards, well, look at the concentration. Wow. Great job by Waddle. Carl Lee tried to make a play, almost made it work. Look at him. John, in case you missed it, turn around, babe. I just threw a touchdown.
Gentry bobbles it for a moment, then retrieves it. Flag is thrown into a pile, which will bring back the return. Gentry did a pretty good job motoring out to the 32. Anderson out of bounds after the catch. At the 13, Mike Merriweather on the tackle on 3rd and 6.
Keep an eye on that right side of Randall and Dolman coming after Harbaugh.
Waddle makes the catch near the first. They give him forward progress just past the 19.
They didn't have that many in either games against the Chicago Bears last year.
But the Bears lead it 13-0. 3rd and 12. Giving chase to Harbaugh. Gets away from him. Now throwing on the run for the first down at the 38 to Wendell Davis. Harbaugh had heat coming from Thomas, Randall, and Dolman. And he got away from him.
If you'd have taken a poll a couple of years ago, people tell you that a guy like Jim Everett's invaluable, big, strong arm thrower. I think people now are starting to appreciate that a young guy or a guy that can move and run, the Harbaughs, the Gannons, the Cunninghams, the Youngs, those are the quarterbacks you need. Defensive linemen are so quick, your quarterback's got to be able to run. What an asset.
Well, Ditka said there are a lot of fancier quarterbacks, but ours is awfully tough. He's picked up another first down at the 37. Slow developing play. It's a screen on the right side to Mustard, and that picks up 10. Looks like another first down.
I'd have gone off. I'd have gone nuts.
It was a first down for the Bears. The pass play to Mustard. Throwing across his body. Good job by Harbaugh to net 9 to Jennings.
This offense is really methodical right now. Very, very patient. And Jim Harbaugh, look at this. Watch him throw this ball. Not what you would refer to as classic quarterback throwing form, but he knows where everybody is on this offense.
It's hard to look classical, though, when you're going across the body. Second down and 1. And that's Mustard for the first down inside of the 40. How about this drive, Randy, for the Bears?
This takes a lot of steam out of a defense that's been popping you pretty good in the face. And they're just right now being very patient, very methodical, very businesslike, and just moving the ball. Watch Mustard. Nothing real fancy here. He gets his shoulders turned towards the goalpost and really doesn't vary too much.
A rookie on the defensive line for Minnesota, Brad Culpepper, number 77. Goldman is out. First and 10 play. Harbaugh back to Waddle. Stepped out of bounds. A toe out of bounds at the 26.
Right now, Chicago's in that territory. They've got themselves a field goal with Butler, as strong as his leg is right now. But let's watch Waddle, the inside receiver, working in the slot right here, going against Lee. Just gets the ball. Now he does a little right, 2, 3, out. There you go. The Bears say they wear black shoes, but I don't think they wear black shoes. I think they spat up and they paint them. That's kind of like false advertising, isn't it?
I have to ask him about that this week. 11th play of the drive, first and 10. And Mustard for about 3. Chopped up by George Hinkle. We're approaching the 6-minute mark to go in the third quarter, and Minnesota has not even had the football in this half. Third, we'll call it 5. Harbaugh back to Waddle for the first down. 8 straight completions by Harbaugh.
And here's Waddle, the outside receiver at the top of the screen. They clear out Davis in front of him. He just comes underneath. And Lee doesn't really have a chance because he's screened off by McMillan and Davis going up the field.
Second and 10. The 15th play of the drive is play action to Mustard. Barreling near the first down, about 2 yards shy at the 6. Del Rio and Merriweather combined on the collision. Still some people in lines for hot dogs and Cokes are going to come back and find themselves in the fourth quarter.
For the second time they're in line.
Harbaugh, quarterback sneak. Quarterback draw. And Harbaugh almost untouched.
You want to see a perfect quarterback draw? Watch Fontenot. Whack. Right on Felix Wright.
Saints and the Lions pounding it out. First and 10. Vikings. Hassan Jones upended by Wolford. Oh.
Well, they went back to that one. Merry Christmas, Mr. Jones.
Roper with quite a tackle. He felt pretty confident going into this game, didn't he?
Well, he's extremely confident, and he's also not intimidated, but he's a little bit concerned. They've taken him out in the nickel situations. He had 8 sacks last year, and Ditka's looking for this guy to give him results. He says, you know, I've got no problem with John Roper. At this time, this guy is not making the plays. If Roper starts making the plays, he'll see more playing time.
Roper stops him short. He told us they can't run on us. Carter, 5 catches for only 21 yards, all in the short variety. 2nd and 9. Here's the long one to AC and intercepted. Lemuel Stinson with the interception.
Stinson said he's going to get 2 interceptions. There's his first one. Top of the screen. There goes Carter. Stinson looks back. Look at that head whip back. He picks the ball up. Would have been a perfect pass if he was the receiver. It wasn't. First down, Chicago.
The 3rd quarter from its own 12. Anderson sticks his helmet into a couple of defenders out at the 18. Darren Lewis was in the backfield and threw a block for him. Now Anderson shifts to a receiver position at the top of your screen. Look out, here it goes. Interception, Todd Scott. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Getting in the end zone. Look at Ditka. I'll paraphrase there. I can't believe you threw that ball. I don't think he was open. What were you thinking?
That is really paraphrasing.
Well, the Minnesota defense, it was their game to get their team back into it. That was a big one.
But you don't expect a gift like that.
But just moments ago, Neil Anderson split out to the left. You knew it was going there. Todd Scott wasn't guessing. That was a slam dunk they were going to Neil Anderson. Harbaugh making at least, well, I can't call that an attempt to make a tackle. But here we go.
Off the interception return. Harbaugh comes back throwing. Hits his tight end Blackwell across the middle. Barry and Del Rio on the coverage. Blackwell's 2nd NFL catch. The last one coming from Hassan Jones.
We said watch out for the reverse and then maybe a pass. There it is. And the Vikings are moving.
Rolling left. Across his body. Open is Carter. Chris Carter for the touchdown. Remaining. 1st and 3, and that'll give him another set of downs across the 30. Neil Anderson, 14 carries, 43 yards today. 2nd down, 10, 8:11 remaining. Blackwell wrapped up in a hurry at the 35 by Del Rio. Boy, I tell you, that was some tongue lashing that Harbaugh had to take from Ditka.
Oh yeah, you know, Mike Ditka does not hold things back. You might see him in the public and see him in the press talking about how the new mellow and the new low-key Mike Ditka. That is not the case when it comes to dealing with these situations on the field. He can do whatever he wants down there.
Ditka makes one decision here. He takes Thomas out and brings in the rookie Louis Age. Louis Age, the 6'7", 352-pound giant who grew up with a poster of William Perry in his bedroom as a kid.
He modeled the body type pretty well, except he grew a little bit taller than the fridge. This guy is gigantic.
With 6:40 remaining. McMichael comes in on Gannon. Allen has it. Gets away from the tackle. And across the 40, chased out by Dent. Broke away from Wolford. Fake the end around to Carter. They come back to the other side with Roger Craig. Chris Carter trying to throw a block for him. Roger Craig into Chicago territory at the 35. Under 5 minutes to go. 4:58. Terry Allen. There's an impressive defensive play. John Roper, the birthday man at age 27 today, wanted to celebrate with a couple of sacks and make no mental errors. That's almost as good as a sack, that tackle for a loss. Gannon in trouble. make something out of it. Look at him go.
What a great job. You can count on one hand the quarterbacks in the NFL that can make that kind of a play.
McDaniel in the backfield. Lead block for Craig. Touchdown, Minnesota. Working on Lewis Age. And Harbaugh dumps it off. Good catch by Anderson. And he has the first down. That looked like a play that was never going to develop. From 20 down in the fourth. 2nd and 10. Anderson trying to get near that first, but about 2 yards shy. Fourth down. This could do it. Intercepted. Intercepted by McMillan. Minnesota has pulled off the greatest comeback in franchise history. Minnesota is 4-1 for the first time since 1977.
And for the Bears, this has got to be a killer. This is a crushing defeat for the Chicago Bears.
One particular pass play by the Bears that could be a season killer.
NFC Central upside down this year. The Vikings, all of a sudden, the new kids on the block are up. Teams like Chicago and Detroit, the old guard, are down. Would it continue to be a brave new world in the black and blue division? Let's check out what happens as the Bears play the Vikings. No score first quarter. Jim Harbaugh, who has a good knack of scrambling, scrambles into Viking territory. That sets up a 50-yard field goal attempt by Kevin Butler. And Butler did it. He nails it. And with that three-pointer becomes the all-time Bears scoring leader. 753 points, passes Walter Payton. Payton outgained him on the ground, though. Mike Dick, Danny Abramowitz. They're all fired up on the Bears sideline. Terry Allen's had a good start this season, and he had a good game today. Allen zips forward, down 30 yards inside Bear territory. Vikings on a roll. The screen pass to Roger Craig. And now Wolford with the saving tackle. Another screen to Roger Craig. And then another play to Roger Craig. This time he runs it into the end zone for a touchdown. The Vikings on the board, but...
Holding, number 83 offense, 10 yards. We'll replay second down.
No, I'm sure they're mistaken. Guys from Brown, Steve Jordan, do not get holding penalties. At any rate, Gannon forced the pass, and he was mistaken because Donnell Wolford picks it off. So no touchdown, and worse, the Bears have the ball. More turnovers, Allen fumbles. The fridge falls on it for the Bears. And then Allen fumbled again. Richard Dent with a nice strip job with the left hand right there, and another fumble. So 4 turnovers forced by Dent and company on the Bears D. Chris Tolman, though, knows something about defense himself. He nails Neil Anderson for a loss. Then avoids the cut block by Troy Auzine, who has done a nice job this year, and pressures Harbaugh into a quick incompletion. Then Dolman blows right past Auzine and makes the sack. 8th sack of the year, leads the NFL. 6-0 Bears, under a minute to go. And Harbaugh, you know his favorite receiver. He's not the fastest. He's not the biggest. But he's one of the toughest. Tom Waddle on the rainbow, 28 yards, 13-0 Bears.
When you take a look at this throw, look at the catch. The throw is perfect. Carl Lee's defense was great. And Eric Harbaugh says, listen, you didn't know what it was, John Randall, let me tell you, it was a touchdown. See you later.
He's a great possession receiver, and Harbaugh knows it early in the second half, Joe.
You bet.
Here he goes to Waddle again for a first down. And then why not try it again, right?
You got to keep going for it. I mean, Waddle's the guy. He catches anything that's near him. Just keep on putting it up around him.
And then, knowing that, Harbaugh on the draw into the end zone, touchdowns, 20-0 Bears.
What's going to happen is you'll see everybody in double coverage on the outside, but watch the block by Jerry Fontenot. Great block. Harbaugh goes in untouched. Dennis Green not happy.
Jim Harbaugh has him rolling 20-0 until he calls an audible. And Todd Scott, the man to replace Joey Browner, picks it off and goes into the end zone 35 yards. The Vikings all of a sudden wake up the first minute of the fourth quarter. It's 20-7. You think Mike isn't annoyed? Don't ever call that play again. Don't do it. Jim might have got the message. More Vikings play. Almost the second interception from Scott right there. Ditka can feel it slipping. Harbaugh can only watch as now Rich Gannon, pretty quiet for 3 quarters, goes to work to Chris Carter in the end zone, touchdown, 20-14.
Buddy Ryan said all Chris Carter does is catch touchdowns. That's why I got rid of him.
Here's another one, a 1-point Gannon, 7 for 7 here late. Harbaugh is dragged down by John Randall. Now you're down 20-14. Don't know that you want to dance, but maybe he knew it was coming. Vikings down 6, and Rich Gannon on a roll. It's Roger Craig. Randall McDaniel with a nice block, number 64. Some good downfield blocking as well, down to the 35-yard line. Then Gannon fakes right, goes left, scrambles. Good cutback down to the 15. 3rd and 4. Big play, and Terry Allen picks up the first down. Then at the 1. Old reliable Roger Craig. The Vikings have never come from this far back in the 4th quarter, down 20 points to start it. They win it, 21-20. Dennis Green is 4-1. Mike Ditka is 2-3. The Vikings win it. Gannon was hot late. What a comeback for Minnesota, and what an explosion by Mike Ditka.
Sometimes we get too smart for our own selves, and when the player knows more than the coach, you have a problem. So that's part of life, I guess. There's nothing I can say.
Is that the case in that pickoff, Mike, that Harbaugh?
You have to talk to him.
I'm very upset that that happened, obviously, but that's the way it goes. I played my heart out for, every play I was in there, and, made a mistake and couldn't overcome it.
I'm not going to put 47 guys' careers in the hand of somebody who thinks he knows more than I know. That's just the way I feel.
Can't call an audible anymore. What's your reaction? He's the coach.
But even Yogi would have been depressed with the way the Vikings shot themselves in the foot today. Turnover after turnover in the first half. Terry Allen had back-to-back fumbles, and the Vikings trailed 6-zip.
I had 2 there, risked those interceptions, and we can't win a ball game doing that.
Usually not, and the bad luck continued. Perfect pass coverage by Carl Lee meant nothing on this play. Tom Waddle's incredible catch gave the Bears a 13-zip halftime lead. It was 20-zip after Bear quarterback Jim Harbaugh capped a 16-play, 10-minute-plus drive to start the second half. Even die-hard Viking fans were thinking of beating the traffic. Then came the 4th quarter, and an ill-advised audible by Harbaugh. Todd Scott turned the miscue into the biggest play of the Vikings season thus far. A 35-yard interception for a touchdown.
The championship teams go out and take it from other people, and that's what we went and did. We went out and took the victory today.
Meanwhile, the interception sparked the heated Mike Ditka to blame Jim Harbaugh for today's loss.
Sometimes we get too smart for our own selves, and when the player knows more than the coach, you have a problem.
I called an audible, and didn't work very well.
It's pretty steamed. I mean,
Yeah, he was upset about it.
If the situation arises again, there will be changes made, and they'll be definite and they'll be permanent.
It's Mike's team. He can do whatever he wants. So.
Mike's team is in trouble. The Vikings offense came alive after the pickoff, making 5 straight first downs, capped by Gannon to Chris Carter touchdown pass, 20-14 Chicago. Then 3 more consecutive first downs, and 10 plays later, Roger Craig caps the Vikings' second biggest 4th quarter comeback ever, 21-20 over the Bears.
Well, this is probably one of the biggest, coming from behind. I had one in Super Bowl down in Miami when we were playing against Cincinnati when we were backed up 92 yards. This kind of feels the same way, that type of feeling. Yeah.